And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is Monday, September 15th, 2025. Hope you had a good weekend. I did not. My Giants lost to the Cowboys. So it was, and in a terrible way, which was very depressing. As you know, we live and die by our football. But anyway, hope you had a good weekend. Hope your team won. Hope you relaxed, ready to go back to work, or if you were tired, hanging out at the golf course or something like that. Hey, in case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets. We'll do the economy. We'll do your job. We will do your industry and everything that affects it, whether it's tariffs, tax hikes, dictates from high, and all the news that's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, there is a ton, and we'll cover it. And by the way, we're also going to cover, so as you know, we just don't do markets and the economy. We will talk about the big news of the day. And boy, we're getting a lot of emails on a couple of things, and you know what they are. We'll get into that in a minute. But if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed, the X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice. That's all. All we want is for you to be nice. Why? Because we will be nice back. We will be respectful back, unless you like Hamas. Anyway, before we get into markets, we're going to have a lot to talk about. The biggest stories, I received hundreds of emails on my thoughts on the recent murder, the political murder, they're calling it. And I'm getting all kinds of emails, and the good news is I did not receive one that sounded like some of these jackasses that are on social media. And just spending 2 minutes on it. And if you don't think this matters, I mean, it really does. Culture going forward matters to everything. Just so you know, social media is a worldwide op-ed. You know, when you go to any newspaper, there's op-eds. People are paid to write about what they think. And you have op-eds for some conservative outlets. You have op-eds for New York Times, which is a lefty outlet. But the social media, everybody now is an op-ed. That's what it is. Everybody's an opinion. And we're in recognition of that. But you know what the social media has done? It's allowed the Morlocks to get out. And you can go look up Morlocks. The illogical. The illogical. The best way I can put it, and we're going to just shut it off quick, you have people there that are singing and dancing about somebody's murder. And unfortunate for them, there are people that are watching it and are reporting it to where the people work. And the people are getting fired. And then those same, and here's the thing, they're actually posting that they like that somebody was murdered. They're posting it with glee. With glee. And by the way, I'm not making a political statement. This is just an overall statement, no matter what side. They're promoting themselves. They're doing an op-ed, yelling and screaming, "We love murder. We're happy that this person was murdered. He deserved it." So not only are they happy with somebody being murdered, they're posting it for the world to see, including the employers of them. And the amazing thing, doctors, nurses, lawyers, airline pilots, teachers, professors, just everything. And then they're getting fired. And then they're going on doing a video crying, "Why am I being fired? What happened to free speech?" Well, guess what? They had free speech. They went out and had their free speech. But every employer gets to decide who they want working for them. And you know me, I don't like seeing anybody fired. Who wants to see anybody fired? I don't want to see anybody fired. But if you're an employer of whatever company and there's somebody out there dancing and singing and pointing to the neck, so all that's going on, and I just don't understand people and their logic. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I saying this to you? You know how I talk to you about, I try to teach you about scams and shams and not ever getting caught in a scam and a sham? Well, let me give you another word of advice. Be careful what you post on social media. Think logically. If you don't own your business, you do something stupid, you can lose your job. There are people out there watching this stuff. By the way, I saw a restaurant owner post one of these things, and it was blasted by the same people that are watching everybody. And guess what's going to happen to his restaurant? We move on. Anyway, let me before I move on, I wish each and every one of you good health, good happiness. I hope that, and goodness, what we are seeing right now on this political front, I'm almost speechless, almost. And let me finish up with this. I'm not into celebrities. Are you? There's only a few that I would fawn over. Only a few. If I see to me, terrific, fabulous. I will tell you, when I see Steve Forbes, I always want to take a picture with him because he's such a nice man. When I'm on TV with him, very nice man. I once bumped into Michael Jordan. Oh, that was pretty damn cool. My father introduced me to Muhammad Ali. My father, at a convention, when my father worked for a sports company, and my father never, ever was conceited about it. I didn't even know about it. Very few. I rarely watch any award shows, but a woman was on the Emmys last night, and she did the usual, and these actors and actresses are wearing these red pins, red hands, and either they're the biggest schmucks on earth, or they are promoting murder, and they don't even know it. And if they do, they can go screw. If you ever see somebody with a pin with red hands, it denotes bloody hands. And what it is back in the year 2000, 2 Israelis were murdered in cold blood in Ramallah. Year 2000, I believe. And what he did is he went outside the window and raised his bloody hands as the mobs were cheering for him. And these actors and actresses, imagine, are wearing those pins at the Emmys, and they were applauded. What a bunch of effing schmucks these people are. What a bunch of imbeciles. It's amazing to watch these doofuses. They can do such good, and instead they're idiots. Absolute morons. And they say it with such vim and vigor. And look what they did. And look how they do it. I have to bring that up. Do you know why? You don't think that matters? Those people are running the world. People will ask for their autographs. And now we're done. I just have to start with that because I have a radio show. I get to do things like that. By the way, none of them were talking about the millions dead in the Sudan and Syria. Didn't talk about the hostages Didn't talk about what's happening in Ukraine by Russia. No. Get the Jews. All right, we move on. So, let me start with a few things. First this, and then a few things. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Okay. So, let's start off with tidbits. Now, this is not to harsh the buzz, because markets that are expensive can get more expensive. And Gary, how do you know markets are expensive? Well, there are measurements, and they're very specific measurements on earnings, market capitalization, sales, and all that. And we have historical numbers, and we go by history, and we compare them to other times in the market, whether they're big tops in the market or big bottoms in the markets. That's what we're always doing. So we're just letting you know a few things. Number one, go read the Buffett indicator. I don't have that handy, but the Warren Buffett indicator's up in the trees. It just means expensive, but I could have said that a year ago. Just letting you know, the S&P 500 is now trading at 3.3 times sales. Its highest in history. Just letting you know. That's sales. Not earnings, sales. I want to let you know that the S&P 500's price to peak earnings, its ratio, has moved up to 27.3. Its highest level since the year 2000, that big top, and 59% above the historical median, the historical average. Got that? If somebody's average of points per game in basketball is 20, and then all of a sudden he gets 32. I want to let you know that the top 10 U.S. stocks now account for 40% of the S&P 500. Now listen carefully. 490 stocks is 60% of the S&P 500. 10 stocks is 40%. You all know what those 10 are. We keep a close watch on them. Tidbits. Over the last 12 months, we, the taxpayer, has paid $1.2 trillion in interest on the debt. That is nearly a quarter of the revenue that we're going to bring in. And I keep hearing the debt is rising by $1 trillion every 100 days. I'm not so sure of that. But that said, we are not done with the fiscal year yet. We are already at $1.97 trillion deficit this year. Just letting you know. Just keep all that in the file manager, because everything's great. That's all. And we're not here to harsh the buzz, and the market's acting fine, notwithstanding a few areas I'm going to mention. But I had to bring that up. But also want to bring up Elon Musk. In case you did not know, I believe Tesla opened up $30 today, closed up $15. Still a good day. And that's after a $27 move on Friday. Elon Musk looks like last Thursday or Friday. Let me get this right. bought $1 billion worth of stock in the open market. No, not kidding. He bought $1 billion worth of stock in the open market. Elon Musk. That's amazing. Now, I will tell you this. That's the biggest number I've ever seen. And I think by far. But versus net worth, I doubt it's even close. $1 billion on 400 and something billion? I've seen much better averages. I think Steve Wynn, when he spent $100 million, that's probably equivalent. Anyway, so that had a good move. I can tell you Tesla stock is extended here. Quite extended from this recent move above the 359 to 369 area. And I was asked, do you think this has to do with his pay package? My answer is probably, but. We'll give it the benefit. Tidbits. Wednesday, the Fed's going to lower rates. The 10-year went down to 4.034 today, down another 0.27. That is going to help the mortgages even more. I will let you know, here's a little bit of good news. In 20 out of the last 20 times, 20 out of 20, that the Fed has cut rates with the S&P 500 at record highs, stocks ended higher 12 months later. In fact, the S&P 500 rallied an average of 13.9% over the next 12 months. But, in 11 out of the 22 times that this has happened, stocks were lower 1 month later. Just letting you know some tidbits. Because we're getting easier money from the Fed. And the president is asking for a big cut, or saying there's going to be a big cut, but I don't think it is. That way he can curse out Jay Powell a little bit more. And that'll be Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's 100% certain he's going to cut. I have no clue what the market does based on what he does. All I can tell you is the Oracle announcement has really juiced a few areas that we're going to get into momentarily. But I do want to tell you, when we tell you to avoid areas, it's not because of our opinion, it's because of the market's opinion. And we're going to reiterate some areas we've been telling you to avoid as of recent. And we hope you've been listening. Because if you can do just that one thing, avoid the downtrends, avoid the bearish phases, avoid the bearish markets, you can be a lot ahead of the game. That's up next on this, the one only Investor's Edge. Welcome once again to Investor's Edge. May I repeat, before we get into areas, number one, live life with love, not hate. And if you do happen to get in one of those moods, don't post it. You got that? Don't post it. Stunning what I am seeing. I actually took an hour of my time and went through. And just so you know, there are outfits that are out there right now. If you post glorifying murder, they're sending it to your employer. They're finding you out. By the way, this is not the first. This happened under Luigi. You know, that cowardly prick that shot the guy in the back from United Health? And then somebody did a GoFundMe for a murderer? And then there was some women that wanted to marry him because he's good looking. Anyway, let's segue again. Food, beverages, alcohol, As I have said to you, usage of alcohol has been dropping big time. And some of the worst acting stocks in the market you have to continue to avoid because of that. Anheuser-Busch, Constellation Brands, holy crap, new yearly low. And you can go look up Constellation Brands. I think it's cbrands.com. Because they, what are they, Modelo and Corona and all kinds of stuff. Lots of stuff. And what's the other one I had mentioned? Symbol TAP, Molson Coors. The food and beverage, Coke and Pepsi and Dr. Pepper, bear markets, especially Dr. Pepper. And when I say bear market for Coke, it's only down 12% from the high, but it's the definitive downtrend. Just remember, these are low beta things. And just so you have an idea, Coke right now is trading lower than it did in April of 22. But I love Coke Zero, by the way. Whoever invented the zero crap, good on them. The waste management. There's only a few names. They're in bear markets, bearish phases, downtrends. A lot of the insurance stocks avoids. Restaurants acting very poorly right now. I think the only one that's hanging up there is Darden right now, and that's no great shakes. And they report this week, and some of the stocks have been absolutely slammed. Remember, Chipotle is now down from its June 69 to 38 from its June 24th high. Keep in mind the stocks had a damn good run. Let's see. Came public in 06. It was 99 cents. It's $38.58 now. Payroll. ADP paychecks. Bearish phases. The exchanges, the CME group, it's a bearish phase. CBOE, a bearish phase. Not so bad, but it's broken right now. And ICE, symbol ICE. Tons of healthcare. Not all, but tons of healthcare stocks. And I am talking things like Merck, Eli Lilly, and others. Some of the Intuitive Surgical. Holy crap. 616 8 months ago, 434 today. So a ton of healthcare, and I just noticed a bunch of them breaking down today. Healthcare. And you already know about the United Health and stuff like that. That's bounced up, but the others, no great shakes. And now, not 100%. Watching the airlines and the hotels starting to get a little bit squirrely. I don't even know if squirrely is a word, but I think I've heard it before. Let's call it mushy. Just noticing, not all, Alaska Air looks like it topped out on heavy volume today. For example, I noticed Delta may be rolling over, not 100% sure. Been noticing Marriott's been on the weak side, and I got a little support area here, better hold. So just letting you know those two. And I'm not bearish on the cruise lines yet. Royal Caribbean, the strongest name, broke the 50-day moving average today. Not yet. But if all of a sudden we see the airlines, cruise lines, and hotels catching the drift, 1 + 1 + 1 does equal 3. So just letting you know, I just wanted to start with that because these are areas you really don't want to own right now. Eventually that can change, and we'll let you know. And lastly, rails and truckers. Rails and truckers. Pitiful. And UPS and FedEx. Definitely UPS, FedEx, not as bad, but they're weak. So rails, truckers, FedEx, and UPS. Notice I'm able to come out and let you know that these areas troublesome. I left a couple out. Oils are mixed now, not as bad as they were, but still plenty very weak. And there's some other stuff. But those are the main ones. And I would say it's good news when the consumer staples are weak and the defensive issues are weak, but we don't want to see the travel stocks breaking down. Don't want to see the travel stocks breaking down. Why? Because the market has ears, has a mouth, and it may be telling us something about consumer. We'll see. So I wanted to give you that. The Dow was up 49 today. S&P 31, though, good. And the NASDAQ 207, NASDAQ 100 201. Why? Some big stuff. And the outcome of Oracle. As we had said to you, Oracle came out with these unbelievable predictions, a backlog of 359% to $455 billion. That cloud revenue is going to go from $18 billion to $144 billion in 4 to 5 years. And AI and data storage and data centers. So guess what's going? Data centers, data storage, the semiconductor equipment. I can tell you that ASML, KLAC, LRCX with the alphabet soup have gone vertical over the last few days off of the Oracle news, as well as some other names. How do I describe these? Celestica, the electronics contract manufacturers. And then there's the Seagates and the Western Digitals that just announced they can raise prices because shortages, because of demand. So there's this area of the market, the AI /semis /data storage. After Oracle's announcement, wow. And may I state for the record, Oracle is sold off the earnings report, though they just gapped it up too much. And we're looking to buy Oracle. We haven't bought it yet. Hit a high of 345. It's 302 today, and gapped up about $10 today. That's the areas right now that are in fuego as well. Some of the big banks, JP Morgan, new yearly high, Goldman Sachs right there. So some of the big banks also, and that's not bad news. Mention the semis, and I got to throw one more thing at you. Uranium? Huh? Well, I'm going to explain uranium up next. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, did I tell you earlier, be careful what you post? Just making sure. I love all of you, and we just want you all to be careful. It's a little bit, getting a little crazy out there. I say that with no joy. Getting a little crazy. We've tried to send a message to you here about hard work, stay in shape, no drugs, no alcohol, family, and think happy thoughts. And if able, always look to do something for somebody you need absolutely nothing from. Little things. Doesn't have to be big. We always talk about the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida. We love doing things. Think happy thoughts. And there's unfortunately a lot of people posting unhappy thoughts and putting themselves in harm's way because of lack of control of emotions. Uranium. The United States is eyeing a bigger uranium reserve here so as to cut Russian dependence and boost our nuclear growth. Uranium stocks and some of the nuclear stocks straight up today on that news. Just be careful. As I have told you, there's some of these nuclear stocks that have still no sales. And sometimes you get moments in the market where it does not matter price or valuation. It's all about themes. Bullish phases in bullish markets will make Teflon out of things. The bear markets will crush them if nothing changes. You got that? When the bear market does hit, companies that have zero sales will go coast to coast if nothing changes. I got one nuclear stock, which, by the way, not going to mention, has made some announcements, but it has no sales and now has a $14 billion market cap. To have a $14 billion market cap, you better have some decent amount of sales and a decent amount of earnings. They have no sales. And maybe they're going to have it. Maybe it's going to be the biggest thing. We're dealing in real time right now. There's more than a few of these. I'm jealous because the stock has gone from 10 to 95. But for the life of me, I can't own things with no sales. It's one of my rules. And boys, it saved me a crap load of money, but I also miss out when things are Teflon-ish. And you have one of those moments right now in that area, and a couple others. But as you know, others and other themes throughout the last few years have absolutely blown up beyond meat. Do I have to go with that? How about Trump's stock? DJT. What did that do? 175 down to 17. And that's not a rip on Trump. We're just stating price valuations. The GameStops, the AMC. What was that, the theater? That hit a high of $393. It's $2.90. And you need to know how much these things were touted at the time. So just letting you know, a very good day for nuclear, uranium, for a reason. There was news. We'll see how it plays out. Just wanted to let you know. Strong move today, as I said. Semiconductor equipment, that's all about how much more supposedly is going to be needed going forward. That Oracle news lit a fuse on some semiconductor equipment stocks that were under pressure, and for lack of a better two-word phrase, blasted off. The only thought process, boy, those numbers better come through. But my little screen of, let's see, symbol APP, AVGO, CLS, CRDO, NET, Oracle. Good day today. Oh, and then there's these semiconductor equipment stocks also. There is your story. And bond market, another decent day today. Mortgages from 4 weeks ago, going to be lower as far as the yield. And I noticed today that the 1 year is down at 3.7%. That sucker was 4 and change. Good to see. That all said, you have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise they will be well. Thanks for joining. Good night, all.